Hello and welcome to Glitch Cube. We're a gaming podcast, and each week we take a deeper look into the art of video games. As always, I'm Christian.
And I'm Chris.
And welcome back, everybody. Thank you guys for joining us once again as we dive further into the world of games. So, this week, what are we talking about? We are going over some crazy updates that we've been playing through, right? We are hitting that backlog pretty hard because it just seems like a really good time to do that, right? Or we're just playing some games, right? You got your Switch 2 updates. You're going to catch up on some Donkey Kong, see what's going on with that. What crazy jungle beats did Chris get into? We're going to find all that good stuff today. And what weird emulated games have I been playing? Who knows? Maybe you never even heard of them. Guarantee most of you guys probably never heard of a lot of these ones, but that's part of the fun. There's a lot of crazy gems out there that we haven't heard of or haven't touched, but we've been wanting to. So that's what we're gonna be talking about this week. And so yeah, buckle in. Let's see what's going on. You want to jump off? You want to start us off with some updates or what you got? Maybe something a little smaller.
Yeah, so for hmm. So for the one I just finished, I finally finished Donkey Kong Bonanza,
Nice, nice.
and I got 680 bananas total. So
That's crazy. I don't even know how many bananas are in that damn game.
I thought it was 1,000, but I was reading somewhere that it's like 777. I think it's 1,000. It has to be
Okay.
because I would say the last 4 or 5 stages, maybe four, I didn't get all the bananas. I
Hmm.
was start like I don't want to say I was getting sick of the game, but I reached a point where I just thought, why am I getting all these bananas? Right? The fossils are cool because I get the outfits, but even then, I always kind of stuck to the same outfits because it had the buffs I wanted, right? I had a tie
Right.
that would give me increased chests so I could find maps. I had stuff for damage, stuff to help keep my Bananza mode going. And
Right.
for me, that worked. So I never really needed to spend anything extra. Bananas, like I felt like I had all the skills I wanted maxed out. And so I don't I guess this is, I'm not trying to talk about anything post game too much, but basically post
Mhm.
game there is more content, right? There's it's like challenge stuff kind of. But
Right. Think like, what was it? The Dark Side of the Moon for Mario?
yeah, it and
Yeah,
you
it's kinda
get
like that.
it's like basically like you can get um like a golden skill when you finish these
Mhm.
things. And but in order to do that, you have to max out all the skills of that form. So
Mm.
for me, there's like three forms I really like that were maxed. The other ones, no. So I was doing
I'm
those right
curious about
now.
the Chris No list. Like, what's the ones where you're like, "Nah."
Mm, I really don't like the last form that
Mm,
you get,
okay,
and I don't like the second form you get, which is the
okay.
zebra. I'll say that one
Yeah.
because I feel like
I
by
think
now most
yeah.
people have that. I really don't
The
like the
zebra
zebra
is
form.
weird, and from what I can tell, it looks like it's just really hard to control, and
It
it doesn't
is.
seem necessary to get, like, maxed out anything for that one.
You use it for like a few things, but not enough to justify all the points, in my opinion.
Right.
So for me, these like end things to do, they're honestly really fun. Like they're challenging. They add a sense of difficulty that the game lacks for
Mm,
almost the whole game. The game is very easy, as it should be, but halfway through, it starts increasing a little bit. But once I got to like the 3/4 of the way in, and I started getting over getting all the bananas, it's not that I was making the game harder, but I was like, "Oh,
mm,
the bosses are actually, like, taking my health down, like, I'm using those little red things to, give me more health." And
right.
it was fun. I still think for me, like, I would still give this game, like, a 8.5 out of 10, maybe a 9, just because, like,
Mm,
it does so many things well. it's an easy game to recommend to somebody who wants a game like that, or if they're, you know, I like to think about this. Even though I did play Super Mario World as a kid, Mario 64 was the one that really spoke to me. And I think
Mhm.
every generation has that Mario game that speaks to them. It's like their first thing they get into, right? Some people had Sunshine, some people had Galaxy. This is going to be some kids' introduction to Mario
Yeah,
style
that's true.
games. And honestly, I mean, yes, Odyssey came out a couple years. Well, at this point, I think it's like what, 7 years ago, 8 years ago. So it's like,
Kinda crazy to think about that, yeah.
yeah. So
But
I'm
wow.
like, it's older. I mean, it doesn't look old. So I mean, I'd still recommend Odyssey over this, but
Mhm.
this is a good game for people to dive into the Mario stuff in general. The I think my biggest gripe with it is just like towards the end, it does get kind of tedious. It definitely the game is
I was
longer,
curious about that.
a lot longer than I thought it would be. Definitely
Right.
I see when people say it can take up to 20 hours, especially if you're getting a lot of bananas. And it's just, I don't know, like the worlds are really fun. I really like them a lot. Towards the end, they're still interesting. They're still really cool looking, but it just drags on in a way
Mhm.
where I was like, I just want to finish this game and see what it has to offer me after. And I
Just,
really
like,
enjoyed
making
it.
it long for not really a reason, like, because from what
Yes.
I've seen from the later levels, at least, it feels like less of what you're doing the entire time, right? Of, like, destroy everything. It was actually more like, "Okay, now I'm actually in, like, a platforming game all of a sudden," right? Like
It's that, and it's also like, just get to this point of the map. So basically, it's
mm,
less about like, I'm gonna explore and break everything and look around. No, I gotta get
it's
to
like,
this
no.
point, this point, this point. And it's like, that's fine, but I was kind of hoping for more or something
Mhm.
better. I
I
did
mean, that
like,
late in the game, it feels kinda weird to do that, right? Like,
yeah,
you're
I like the
already close to
ending.
20 hours.
Yeah,
That
like the
yeah,
final fight's really cool. It took me by surprise because I didn't get it spoiled, surprisingly. And I
right.
won't say anything because I'm like, it was awesome to see that.
Yeah.
So I was stoked on that. You know, the game in general, I really liked it a lot. I don't want to make it sound like I didn't, but it's it's not my game of the year. You know, like I
Mm,
was thinking, ooh, this could be a serious contender, but I'm like, you know what? At this point, I would say it's probably number two still.
mm,
But if something good comes along soon, it'll get knocked out. You know,
right.
I liked it. I'm glad I played it. You know, it was a game I was not going to play originally, and then I just was like, you know what, let's do it. And I
Yeah.
had fun the whole time.
I was really curious about it because, like, I mean, I've played a little bit. I got lucky when, one of the guys I work with, he brought the Switch 2 to work and let me just kinda, like, goof around with it,
Hmm.
and, like, for a while it was one of those where I was like, "Okay, I see where I need to go. I'm not gonna do it." Right? Like, it's the classic, "I'm gonna go this way instead of
Hmm.
that way where the sign tells me to," and I was just, like, goofing off for a couple hours, honestly, of just, like, going around, destroying everything in the first area, just freely exploring, getting as many fossils as I can, and then, like, I kinda realized, "Oh, you don't even need to get all the fossils to get all the costumes or all the upgrades and things like that. You just need a handful." So it's like, well, that means I don't really need to explore unless I wanna get a 100% completionist thing on there, right? But, like, I don't know. I'm not that kind of person anymore, that kind of gamer where it's like, I need to see that 100% check mark. I'm okay if I don't, right?
Yeah.
And then I was actually kind of wondering too if this game has, like, it's too much to last that long. It feels like it being at 20 plus hours, that it's so high octane for that long of a period of time that there isn't really, like, that many lulls to kind of bring you back down before you're back up again, right? Like, it feels like it's revving up the entire time, and, like, that can get really tiring after a while or, like, feel really exhausting. So, I'm wondering if, like, maybe this just got, like, gamer fatigue, you know? Like, 'Cause if it was a little, like, mellower and then back up and then mellower back up, because I feel like Odyssey does that, where there's, like, it has, like, a nice ebb and flow to it where it's not that high octane, that's why it makes it so different than Bonanza, but it's one of those that you could still see yourself going back to and playing a few more times, right? Like, whereas I think with Bonanza, I would be surprised if you pick it up again after you complete it, like,
Yeah, it's
unless
you
there's
know,
DLC, but yeah.
even then, like, I'm happy with where I'm at. Like, I'll do
Mhm.
some of this end game stuff just for, for the fun of it, but
Because yeah.
there are stages in between the main ones where it's less.
Mhm.
Right? It's where it's like, "Oh, here's just 30 fossils. That's it. Go find them if you want."
Or, like, the racing one, right? Like, that was really
Yeah.
short.
Like, there's little, like, intermittent stuff, which is nice. It is a good little break. While I was playing this, I was playing other games, so for
Mm.
me, like, coming back to it after a few days off of it, it made me appreciate it more, but
Right.
the length of it was just getting to the point where I'm like, "Okay, I just wanna see this through."
Right.
And as someone who loves collectathons, I mean, this game does a really good job at it. It's just for me, it felt like too much. But this is coming from
Mm.
someone that has a huge backlog that wants to play them all, and I've been doing a good job on knocking them out. So it's like,
Right.
do I want to get all the bananas and, Bonanza, or do I want to play a different game?
Like, 6 other games.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Look,
Yeah, yeah.
it's just it comes down to that. So
Right.
that's kind of where I'm at. And
Yeah.
I like, am I gonna come back to it years from now? I mean, I didn't really go back to Odyssey either.
Mm. True.
So I rather more so play just a new Mario game. Like for me, Sunshine would be where I would go
Yeah.
next.
Yeah, I mean, Sunshine's awesome. I have been playing dipping into that every once in a while. Now that I got my emulator set up exactly how I want it, I got a GameCube controller, but like a classic one. I got the adapter and everything like that. So like Odyssey feels really good.
Nice.
And man, it's so crazy like looking back at some of these older games because it's I don't know, maybe it's just Mario specifically because you go through like now that I'm playing some emulator games or like going through my backlog pretty heavily right now, some games just really feel their age when it comes to movement or controls or things like that. But you put on a Mario game and it doesn't matter what console it came from, it still feels good. Like, I mean, Nintendo really does pay attention to that aspect. Because like Sunshine
Mhm.
feels great just flipping around, even popping in like Super Mario 64 to just jump around the castle for a little bit feels really good. Like there's something about that it still feels modern enough or like comfortable. I mean, besides the camera on the N64, right? Like that's like the
But it
only
worked.
it still works,
It
right?
worked
Yeah.
weirdly too well. When you look at
Yeah.
everything else that came out around the time with cameras,
They couldn't figure it out, but Mario did it.
it was still a pain in the ass. Don't get me wrong with the
Yeah.
camera, but it was bearable and it worked.
Right.
And it's a game I could go back to now.
Hmm.
I played it maybe like 2 years ago, just like a stage, and I was like, you know what? This isn't bad. This
Right.
is this is tolerable. So yeah, it's weird. I mean, a lot of Nintendo first party are just made
They
so
just hold up.
well where it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
you could go back to them at any point and they don't feel as aged. Weird.
Right. Yeah. Which, speaking of, one of them I just went through because I was looking at Zelda games, right? Because I mean, I love them, but I haven't actually like beaten a lot of them.
Mhm.
Like, for instance, like Ocarina of Time. I have such fond memories of Ocarina of Time, but I never actually had my hands on a controller playing that game. Like,
Wow.
my fond memories were with my uncle, my father, and me there, but my father and my uncle played. I was just the observer, just absorbing all of this world and lore and, like, going into it. Like, they were the ones struggling with the puzzles and doing all that stuff, but I was just, like, enthralled by the world itself. So, I was like, "You know what? Let me actually, like, tackle some of these." So, the first one that I really wanted to jump into, I mean, was Wind Waker, but then I was like, "You know, I actually have played through that, so let me try something different. One that I got through and then just kind of like fell off of after a bit, and it's Twilight Princess.
Mm.
So that game, I mean, that's Swole Link. He's huge in that game. Like, they made him so fit, it's hilarious, and there's a couple parts where he's, like, sumo wrestling Gorons, and, like, he's actually, like, full muscle definition guy.
Oh,
When you
jeez.
see him in, like, Ocarina and when like, he's always, like, really skinny and, like, kind of a twig, but
Mhm.
then, like, for some reason, in Twilight Princess, he's just, like, ripped. But it makes sense, like, it's kinda, like, fitting for the hero of time, right? Like, he's doing all these crazy
Needs to
things.
be.
He's he's swinging around that giant ball and chain in Twilight Princess, like, he needs to be able to actually, like, move around like that, right? So,
Mhm.
like but that game was really surprising. I actually was able to complete it completely, and it's really, really good. Like, the story was great, the visuals were creepy, it was, like, kinda dark, right? Like, the nods to other games, like, the fact that Skull Kid's actually in Twilight Princess, but
Mhm.
they don't exclusively, like, tell you it's Skull Kid, but if you know, right? Like, I like those kind of aspects that were thrown in, and the thing that about it that I think was kind of, like, so weird, like, characters in Zelda have always looked kind of funny, right? Like, they make
Mhm.
them kind of like characters of people, but they kinda, like, took it to a whole 'nother level in Twilight Princess, where they went, like, creepy with it,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Like, there's even this little thing, it's called I think it's called, like, a ochaku or whatever. It's basically like a little chicken with a human head on it, and those are they are like a fever dream, like, they look like something like, H.R. Geiger would have come up with, but then, like, Nintendo colored it, so it's all, like, bright and shit. But, like, it looks weird, and the whole purpose of it is that is the way that you get to warp out of dungeons if you want to leave, and then you can warp
Oh.
back where you were, right? So, like, you find them in, like, random pots, and they, like, talk to you, and they're like, "Oh, yeah, if you warp, just talk to Junior, and then he'll bring you back." And it turns out, like so imagine a chicken with a human alien, like, head, right? Like, just weird as hell. Well, Junior, like, the baby versions of these things, is just the head, and it has wings. There is
Hmm.
no body. Like, it's kinda disturbing and a little and it has, like, 4 tits on it, like, boobs on the front and boobs on the back, like, it's weird. Nintendo
Mm.
went really weird with this thing. I'm sure we'll put something up for the people watching YouTube of this weird, creepy thing. But, like, the gameplay itself was great. I mean, like, being able to jump back and forth between the Wolf Link and regular Link, like, that was a really cool aspect there. And the combat just felt really good. I mean, I was playing the GameCube version, and it looked fantastic. Like, surprisingly, right? And for how long ago that came out, it still looks great. And the final fight was amazing. Zant is a really cool character because I like the fact that Zant was just I mean, he was taken over by Ganon and all that stuff, right? But he was like he felt relatable, Like, he was just a servant of the royal family who got tired of it and then needed, like, an outlet, and turns out, well, guess what? Ganon got thrown into the Twilight world because the 7 sages didn't really know what they were doing, they just needed to imprison him, and they put him in a world to torment this whole other area? And then
Hmm.
he gets his powers, comes out like, there's a whole thing with that. So, like, Zant gets Ganon's powers, and then he, takes over. He becomes like the usurper king, which is super crazy and cool. And then like Midna, who's spoiler Twilight Princess, spoiler for like a 20-year-old game now. Like
Mm.
she gets turned into that weird little imp creature, but then she gets changed back. Like there's all kinds of cool shit in that game, man. Like it was a lot of fun, and just the I mean, like, Zelda games are always gonna give you a whole, like, toolbox. You're like Batman, right? You got all the crazy shit to play with. Like, this one gave you so much that it was awesome. Like, the ball and chain, the spinner, where you're basically like Zelda or you're Link on a Beyblade, right? Like, it's
Mm.
weird, but that's a thing. You have not just like, you have the double claw shot in it, which made some really cool,
Huh.
like, traversal mechanics. So, like, you can hook onto a wall, and then with your other arm, you hook onto another one, and just walking around with those on looks so cool. You're like Wolverine. You just got 2 claw arms
Oh,
walking
man.
around, like, it's some rad stuff, man, and some of the coolest dungeons that I've interacted with there, like the one in Snow Peak, that one's great because it's actually just a mansion. Like, it's the
Hmm.
first dungeon where you just feel like you're in someone's house. Like, it was weird, but you're exploring this huge mansion and, like, going around and having to, like, figure out how to get through it all. But, yeah, it was
Hmm.
an awesome, awesome game, and I loved the final fight. I thought that was really cool. All the weird, quirky stuff, like, I don't know, I really enjoyed my time with that one. And I know that, like, Twilight Princess was kind of when it first came out, at least, there were some people that really didn't like it, right? Like, they were
Mhm.
like, "Oh, it's too much, like, why is he turning into a dog?" And then later, they're like, "Oh, no, it's actually a good game." Right? Like, it's kinda funny how that happened, which same thing
It's
happened with Skyward Sword, right? Like
Yeah, I think when Skyward Sword came out, people started feeling better about Twilight Princess, is what
yeah.
I think, because they were like, "Oh, Skyward Sword's too weird," like
Mhm.
because the motion controls. But I remember playing Twilight Princess, um, and I got to like I think right past the water temple, that
Mm.
area. So I didn't get super far. Like I never finished it. I don't remember much about the game. I remember the very early on with the bridge with Ganon
Mhm.
and just very, very little. I remember
What's funny about that
being
you said that that's total Mandela effect. So Ganon's not on that bridge. It's
oh,
a weird fat warthog dude that you fight
oh,
on the
that's
bridge, and you're, like, jousting him. But no, I had that same thought too. I was like, "Oh, yeah, you, like, joust Ganon or some shit because he's on a big old pig, right, which is Ganon's thing, but
yeah,
no, it wasn't Ganon. Ganon's not until the
right.
very, very end. Yeah, yeah.
But I remember seeing that style and thinking, "Oh, this is that look that they showed in that E3
Mm,
video where he looked more realistic, where we thought that's what we're gonna get instead of Wind Waker." I think a lot of people were started to really like how Wind Waker looked, so this
mhm.
kind of threw them off. And yeah, the dog thing. I remember I think honestly, I think that's what made me stop playing. Because I was like, this kind of sucks with the dog.
Right,
Everything else was cool. I liked how dark it was, but yeah, I do want to go back. I want to go back to that and Skyward Sword because I I know I pretty much got halfway. I think with both, and
right.
they're like the few Zelda I haven't beaten. So I wanna experience them. I just like getting lost in it. I feel like after playing
Mhm.
Tears of the Kingdom, it made me long for the old style of Zelda, even though
I
they
prefer
can.
those now. I mean, as much as Tears of the Kingdom was good and Breath of the Wild, like going back to these, because I'm also playing like Minish Cap at the same time, like the 2D Zeldas.
Mhm.
th- I actually think I prefer this. Like, I don't know, like, Tears of the Kingdom is fun, but I played it as if it was an old school Zelda. I didn't spend hours just building and constructing. I went from story beat to story beat, right? Like,
Mm.
I didn't really, like, goof around and anywhere, do all that stuff. I explored a little bit, but I try to stay on task, and I had a much better time with that, right? Like, Breath of the Wild, I played it at like, everyone else was playing it, and I fell off, and then I had to,
Same.
like, come back later and beat it. But then Tears of the Kingdom, I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna treat this like a Zelda game," and I went, like, story
Mhm.
beat to story beat, and I love that game. Like, that was awesome, but I played it the way I wanted to, because I wanted an old school Zelda game, right? Like, so, I don't know, but then I know my sister spent countless hours just building shit and
Yeah.
just playing around and loved it too. But yeah, it's kind of crazy. I mean, it is nice that you could do both, right? I get that.
That's what I liked. I felt like it was a refinement of Breath of the Wild. I loved building in it. I spent a good chunk building, and then I got over it. Once I
Mhm.
was able to build that hovercraft that everyone was making videos about, where
Oh,
it's
yeah,
like
that's the only thing I ever built.
you just fly around endlessly, I was like, "Okay, this is good enough. I don't need to make a big
And the
old
fact that you were
plane."
able to save it, you're like, "Yeah, I'm done."
Yeah, it just made it easy. So but I still, like, explored and really lived in that world more than I
Mhm.
thought I would, because I did not like Breath of the Wild at first. Once I went back
Yeah.
to it, I liked it, but it was still different, and I still honestly, I really prefer the 2D Zeldas a lot. Like, I can say that
Yeah.
more of my favorite Zelda games are the 2D ones. So,
That makes sense.
the only one I haven't done is Link's Awakening. I need to get to that. But all the other 2D Zeldas, I played them, right?
They are really fun. I mean, they feel definitely more puzzle heavy
They are.
than the other ones, but that's because they're 2D, right? Like, what else are they gonna rely on? Combat is weird in 2D ones, but
Yeah.
it does like, those 2D games, there's something about them, like, they're able to be a little bit more quirky, a little bit more silly,
Mhm.
but the design of the characters, I think, is like, Minish Cap is beautiful. I love the art style of it. I mean, it is like 2D Wind Waker, but it feels like more cartoony, or like even Link's Awakening. I really enjoy the art style of that one too, like, especially the GBA version of it, right? Like, they are a lot of fun. I set up my PSP to actually play Game Boy games, and go figure, right? So it feels kind of like sacrilegious, but that's what I've been doing on like a bus or trolley, right? Just playing my GBA emulators, and those 2D games are kind of surprising me. I didn't think I would like them as much as I do, because I was like so used to Wind Waker and Twilight and that kind of that 3D exploration. But
Y
there's some good stuff there.
Yeah, the DS ones are the ones I didn't really play a whole lot of, and the
Well, they
GBA
had the
kind
weird
of,
gimmick they had the
like
weird gimmick
Spirit
of the
Trap.
motion where you had to, like, tap to move,
Yeah.
right? Like, it wasn't actual movement. Yeah.
Yeah, like, I loved Link Between Worlds and the Oracle games a lot. So,
That's the other one I started playing, Oracle. That one's really cool.
I
I like
love
the
them.
idea behind it.
One's more puzzle heavy, the other one's more action heavy, so
Mhm. Yeah.
and they both kinda
Yeah,
connect too, so
which is cool. I They need more stuff like that,
yeah.
right? But, I don't know, maybe we'll get, like, a spin-off of Zelda where it's more normal or classic, but, eh, it'd be nice.
I
It'd
think
be
it would
nice.
be 2D. I think if they're gonna go classic, they're just gonna do 2D style.
Yeah. Which I think would be great. I mean, there with the new, like, Octopath Traveler games coming out and all that kinda stuff, the Dragon Quest remakes, like, they could totally do it like that, and I could see them being like, "Yeah, let's do that," right? I mean,
Mhm.
even it was Link's Awakening, right? The
Yeah,
remake with that? Yeah, I mean, why not, right? Can you imagine like that, but like Oracle of Seasons or Minish Cap? Like, that would be freaking
that'd be cool.
awesome,
I could see them doing that.
right? Like that, I'd be all for that because a lot of people probably haven't even played those, so that would be a huge, like, yeah,
Yeah, like, I think they're all on Nintendo Switch Online, but even then, it's like, not everyone's gonna play it that way. So,
right,
it would be cool to kinda, like, make the graphics better for people.
yeah, no, totally agree with that. Shoot, I'd play that. I didn't jump on the Link's Awakening one because it's $60 for that
Yeah,
game.
that's
It was like,
that's what's held me off
uh,
too. I'm like,
yeah.
"Man, I should just play the original."
I'll just play, yeah, that's exactly what I said. I was like, "Well, I got it on my phone, so, like, I don't need to spend $60 on this thing because that's insane, man, that's a lot." But I get it, it's like a whole new game, yeah, and I don't know, I kinda wish that they made Link's hair still pink, right? Like, for some
Oh,
reason,
yeah.
the GBA one, his hair is pink. I don't know why, like,
It was
it's
that
so
in,
weird.
Link to the Past too.
That's right, yeah. Like, why did they change that? They should've just kept that forever. I
I
wonder
know.
how successful it would have been if Link's hair was always pink, right? They never
That'd be
made him like a
cool.
blonde boy. Yeah. But actually, I mean, speaking of Zelda and all that stuff, man, the live action might be right around the corner.
That's
Uh,
true.
they they keep saying that they have people picked out for it and all that stuff. Like, I don't know. I'm very curious about how that's gonna play out. I think it could be cool, but I mean, like, how do you make a silent protagonist work,
Yep.
right?
That's what I'm wondering, and because it's live action, that's
Like,
gonna be
he has
different.
to talk. He has to
Yeah.
talk.
He's not just gonna stand there like an idiot.
Unless they go super dark with it. Okay, like, what if they went really dark with it? First scene, opening shot, like, moon the crazy Majora's Mask moon, like, laughing over everyone, lightning strikes. You just see a little boy running. He's got a green tunic on, he's running through the woods, and then in the background, you just see red hair and red eyes glowing. It's chasing down this little boy with the tunic, right? Then he's, like, looking up at the sky, he's got the little glowing triangle in his hand. Ganon, we realize that it's Ganon that's chasing down this boy. He picks him up and he just fucking cuts his tongue out.
Oh my god.
right then and there. And that's why Link is silent this whole time, is because he actually has his tongue cut out. That's why he can't talk,
I
or he
mean,
doesn't
that'd be
talk.
a that'd be I'm down for that.
Yeah, like, if it just goes, like what if it just, like, spun and went, like, so dark, you're like, "Oh, shit." Like, this is a lot, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, how many times have you stabbed Ganon in the head, you know? Like, why why not make it dark?
Yeah, it just
Like,
cuts
I
out your
feel like that's
tongue.
just a thing. Yeah, shoot. I mean, shit, I'd watch that still. Make a rated R
Same,
Zelda. I think that would
same,
be
that would make it
awesome.
fun.
Yeah, I mean, they got some, like, crazy monsters and all that stuff in Zelda, so why not? And the Twilight Princess, like, bosses, like, the spider one was creepy as hell. Like, it makes sense. Like, they could go super dark with this thing and make it, like, awesome. But we'll see. Wishful thinking,
We
right?
can
We'll
hope,
we'll see what
yeah.
happens. Yeah, yeah. But, we'll figure out what happens there.
Last big game that I finished
Yeah.
finally, was Trails of Cold Steel, and,
Oh, nice, yeah.
it's
You've been working on that one for a minute, right?
yeah, because for a minute there, it was almost like I was playing one Trails game a year. It was always usually the
Mm,
first game I beat of the year, January, and I did beat, I did Trails to Zero and Trails to Azure one after another, right? December, January, knocked them out.
right.
And I was like, do I want to start Cold Steel? And I waited, waited, waited. And then last month I was like, I'm just going to get it started. Why not? Everyone seems to love this one a lot. I put it off before because I was like, I don't really know if I like this school thing because it feels a
Mm,
lot like Persona, but
yeah.
it 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 didn't. Once I got into it, I didn't really feel like that too much. I love the game. I I don't know if I would say it's my favorite game so far in the series because I mean at this point I've played 6. This is the 6th game in the series I've played.
That's I mean, but I
And
say that, and then we look at all these Zelda games, how many there are, the Final Fantasies, right? Like,
yeah. I
but the
mean,
trails are so long.
it's like
They're
the problem is I mean the story all connects, right? So it's like I
mm,
mean the events in this game take place like half the game takes place the same time Azure is taking place. So
mm,
like the optimal way of playing it is like at the same time and then you stop at a certain chapter in Cold Steel, go back to Azure. But I was like, you know what? It's more fun this
that would
way.
be interesting.
And
Has somebody made, like, a roadmap of that? Because that would be pretty cool.
yes, yeah, that's how I found out about it because someone kind of like figured out how to when to stop in
Mm,
Cold Steel to go back to Azure. And it explains a lot. You know, there were some ties in Azure that was like, "Oh, who why? Why is this happening?" And then you play Cold
right,
Steel and it makes total sense. They lay everything out for you. And, you know, the twists and turns in this game were probably some of the bigger ones in the series.
mm,
And, you know, for I mean, for a lot of people, Cold Steel was the first introduction because Sky came out on the PSP in the US and that was it. Like the
right.
Crossbell arc didn't come out over here till recently. So with Cold Steel, that's most people's jump in, and I mean, it's a strong entry. You know, like I
Right.
don't know if I would recommend people to play that first in this day and age, just because like there's so much backstory with the older games. I mean,
Mm,
when you look at because they're re-releasing Trails in the Sky 1 I
mhm,
think next month or something. And supposedly what they're trying to do is they want to re-release these games because things that happen in those games, you know, when they were making Cold Steel or when they made Sky, they weren't expecting the series to go that long, you know?
right.
So now they're like, okay, like let's clear things up. Let's kind of make the story more continuous. So
That
I
makes
think that's
sense.
what they're doing with that. I won't play it because I'm like I'm already happy with what I experienced in the first game.
Right. Can you imagine doing that again? Another 100 hours?
I'm like, dude, I still got Cold Steel 2, 3, 4, you know, Reverie, and then the 2 Daybreak games. So it's like I've got my plate full. I'm happy
Right.
with where I'm at. I loved how Cold Steel 1 finished, and it I didn't want to start Cold Steel 2 right away, but I did.
Mm,
But I'm kind of like jumping between that and Liza P, so I don't get too burnt out. But with Cold Steel 1, it's like it almost felt like the RPG I needed to play
Mm,
because this year I've been playing a lot. And this one felt different in a way that, when you go through the other 5 games, you see how the story takes shape and
mhm,
everything is just coming together. Because I mean, at this point, this is, gearing up. This is the big part of the story. So it's awesome. I loved the huge cast of characters and everything about it was just awesome. Like I've grown to like these games more than a lot of other main RPG franchises that have come out in recent years.
right.
And yeah, I guess I'm just surprised. It makes me want to really get through this series, but I don't know. After I beat Cold Steel 2, I'm like, I think I might need a break for the rest of the year from the franchise.
I
Cause
mean,
yeah,
that's
each one is gonna be a
such
hundred
a
like 60. I spent 65 hours in Cold Steel 1. And
yeah,
supposedly,
I
like,
feel like
each Cold Steel gets longer. So, I'm
that's
like,
crazy. That's
yeah.
crazy.
And I was like I was doing all the side stuff, but I was burning through it pretty quickly. Like, I was seeing some people say they go 80 hours. So it's like
Damn,
I'm like,
damn.
there's so many games I wanna play, but, like, the story in this just has me hooked, where I'm like,
Mhm,
I want to experience more. I want to live with these characters more and see where it goes. Because I mean, I see the cover art for like future games. And I'm like, who are these people? What's going on here? And it's just, it has me excited to play more of them. But
right, yeah.
I'm trying not to burn myself of them
I mean,
either.
that's a lot. Yeah, I mean, it's one thing to do that, for just if it was a one-off and it was like 60 hours, it's like, yeah, that makes sense, right? That's fine. But the fact that all of these go together and each one is 60 to 100 hours, and isn't there like 10 games with or 11 games or something so far? Like that's so
Yes,
much.
they're trying to finish the series though. So I guess there's
Right.
still like two more games that they're doing with the story. But
That's like 1,200 hours of gameplay. Like
yeah.
that's just to get this story. That's crazy. 1,200 hours for a story. I mean, that's amazing. Don't get me wrong. And of course, when you really put it into perspective, I mean, like if you played every single Final Fantasy game, would you get close, right? Because some of them you can
Hmm.
beat in like 20 hours, right? Like
Yeah.
I, I feel like the Trails games definitely have a lot to say. They're really popular, obviously. I feel like I've played a couple of them, but they just I never really
They
like
talk a
paid
lot,
attention to the story.
which kind
Yeah.
of it sometimes it's too much.
Mm. I mean, that could be adding to the 60 hours, that's for sure, so
Oh, definitely. Like,
yeah.
there were times I was skipping, like, optional content or talking because I was like,
Mm,
"This is too much." I know they
right.
pack in the dialogue in these games, so I know, like, what is safe to skip and what's not to skip.
Right,
So,
right.
yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Oh, maybe I'll have to ask you, like, what's the right order to play? Or maybe we'll put that out for people who are interested, right?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
where do you start? Where should you go? Because everything jumps around so much, but yeah, it's all the same universe, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy that they were able to make that world that big to go for that long. That's awesome. Can't imagine writing a story that long.
I know. It's like they just keep pulling new stuff to add that actually is coherent, so it's crazy.
Right. Yeah, Marvel can't even do that. Like, how the hell?
Yeah.
Star Wars messed up after a couple movies. Like, it's kind of crazy that someone was able to do it. But yeah. All right. Well, I think that's going to do it for us this week. Hope you guys have enjoyed listening to us talk about our little backlog endeavors, right? We got a lot on there, that's for damn sure. And it continues to grow on a daily basis because games will never die. And as we look through and start doing research on this stuff, we keep getting gentle reminders of all of the things that we happen to miss, even though we feel like we were trying to stay on top of it. We've been doing this for like 5 years and we're still finding new games. We're like, oh crap, that one. Forgot about that. Damn it. But anyway, we're gonna keep plugging away at that thing and keep letting you guys know about it and just talking about it here each and every week, every Monday, man. But anyway, We'll talk to you guys next week with some more games and all that good stuff. But until then, bye for now.